Coming up now on Animal Outtakes.
How fast can they go?
Oh man, the fastest one we know, the Cuban crocodile, can almost hit 20 miles an hour on land.
Wow, that's faster than I can do.
They can motor. They can motor. Now they're only sprinters. They're not distance runners. So they ain't gonna go very far.
Alligators, crocodiles, and caimans. Oh my! A new exhibit teaches visitors all about these living dinosaurs.
Where does Bernard hail from?
He comes from Australia.
So he's used to this warm climate that we provided with here in Florida.
Oh, absolutely. He does quite well in this heat.
And we'll meet up with one large bird. And you might be surprised to find out what you won't find Bernard doing. This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. Hello and welcome to Animal Outtakes. I'm Marcia Panucci, and this is my best friend, Zeus. Living in Florida, you're sure to see them, sometimes in your own backyard. Gators are a common sight around ponds and lakes here in the Sunshine State. And while we keep our distance, the staff at Mote Marine have opened up a new exhibit, getting visitors as close as possible to these prehistoric reptiles.
Evan, we're back here with you at Mote, and we're so glad to be here. But the topic is crocodilians. What does that really tell us?
Well, we're really excited to open this new exhibit. It's the wild world of crocodiles, gators, caiman. It's a fantastic exhibit that we're educating the public about the watershed environment, which if you remember last time you were here, we were talking about otters. Yes. So we've continued on that theme. Directly across from our otter exhibit, we now have our teeth beneath, the wild world of gators, crocs, and caimans.
You know, those otters are like the cuddly bunnies I keep telling you. You just want to squish and hug and kiss. This is not something I would be looking to do here.
No, little different, little different. So these guys are actually juveniles just like our otters are. These guys are about 3 to 5 years old right now, so they're quite small. They're going to be with Mote for their entire lives. So our visitors get to come here now and see them when they're 3 or 5 years old, come back every year and watch them grow into adults.
Now, when you talk about longevity, how many years are we talking about in captivity that they can actually exist?
What's really interesting about American alligators in the wild, they only live about 20, 25 years old. But however, under human care, they can live up to 50 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're going to see it.
That's right. I hope so.
You're definitely going to see that.
But we've got all females in this exhibit here. We've got an American alligator, her name is Rose, and then we have 3 caiman, and their names are Blanche, Sophia, and Dorothy.
The Golden Girls. I always wanted to be Blanche. Do I match up a little bit?
We'll have to see. Huh? As we learn her temperament, we'll let you know.
Well, thank you. Thank you. In this particular exhibit, you're doing some things in human care that we would probably never see out in the wild. What are they?
Well, we're doing a lot of training with these animals, a lot of training and enrichment. What we do when we feed these animals is we don't just throw the food in and hope they get it. We actually have individual targets made for each animal. Rose, actually, her target is a picture of a nice, beautiful red rose. And she's already learned, she's only been with us about 2 months now. She's already learned to come directly to that target where she then gets rewarded for food. And we can even move that target throughout this entire exhibit, and Rose will follow the target around to different areas. As soon as we stop, she stops, and then she gets a piece of food.
Now this brings up a very good question. How intelligent are they?
Well, that's what we're going to learn as we go through this training, but so far proving that in 2 short months, a 5-year-old alligator can learn that quickly. We're quite impressed already, and we're going to continue to learn about this.
Brian, there is some sort of fascination with crocodiles. Can you tell us what that really is?
Sure. I think the reason why there's so much fascination, they're so prehistoric. They've been on this planet for millions of years, haven't really changed too much. And they're also a top predator in Florida waters. So they really do make a big impact on our ecosystems here in Florida. So that's what we're doing here at Mote right now, is just telling that part of the story.
Now, we talk about, that they're hunters and predators and all that. What is their diet, truly?
Almost anything get in their mouth. They'll eat fish, snakes, turtles, even small crocodilians. They're opportunistic feeders, so whatever they can get their mouth on, they'll go after. But here, though, we train them to eat something called croc chow, which is a small pellet food, looks like dog food. which is a specialized diet that's especially designed for crocodilians. So you get the proper carbohydrates and protein levels and phosphates and all that good stuff. So I got a silver side right there, little marine fish, and we're gonna shove these pellets in this fish's body. Do you want to get your fingers dirty?
Well, yeah, but where do you want me to put it? Right
in there, in that hole right there.
Oh, that's kind of like a fish pocket.
Exactly.
Okay.
Nice.
Do I do another one?
Yeah, we get one more, that'd be great.
Okay. There's always the question, is this the right thing to do for these animals, or should we have just left them out in the wild?
Well, the caiman are an invasive species to Florida, meaning that they're not locally found here, except they were introduced. So normally they're from South America. They were found here down in the Everglades. I think a few decades ago, they became an established invasive species, meaning that there's a breeding population. So just like the lionfish and the anacondas, those are animals that do not belong in Florida, so they need to be removed. These animals were removed from the Everglades as small hatchlings, but they were kept alive for educational purposes. So they're here with us at Moat so we can educate the public about how important it is to understand the negative impacts that these invasive species can have.
So you truly feel that by educating us, we're going to enhance the longevity of these animals.
That's right. And with our American alligator, we really want folks to understand this is a local native species that we have that almost everybody that's lived in Florida has come across one at some point in time, whether they were visiting a national park or they were somewhere, a lake, a pond, a stream, and they saw one. We want them to have a better understanding about those animals. And since they're so closely related to the American crocodile, which is a protected species that's threatened and needs our human care help in order for it to continue to survive in the wild, we really want to bolster the education of our visitors.
You can visit the Golden Girls at Moat Marine Lab and Aquarium in Sarasota, Florida. But if you want to see gators in their native environment, there is one sure place that alligators can be found in Florida: the Everglades. We headed out to see if we could spot them.
Airboats are kind of considered a Florida attraction. But there's really an ecological reason to do this. What is it?
Well, it's a really great way to get out into the Everglades. It doesn't damage a lot of the grass. The boat's right on top of the water and not in it, so you're not really getting in the way of too much of the Everglades. You can kind of just ride on top of it and enjoy it.
And really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Now, when we go out, what would we expect to see?
Well, in our part of the Everglades out here, we're mostly going to be seeing amphibious animals and birds. The water that we have plays the biggest impact. You don't find too many larger mammals. You'll get some of the smaller ones like raccoons, but they'll be sticking by the highway. So hopefully when we get out there, we'll see some gators, maybe some turtles, some fish, hopefully some birds out there too.
Obviously, we're skimming the water. So will some of these animals come right up close to us?
Some of them, it depends. There's certain areas that we see the gators more often, and they start realizing we won't really be out there to hurt them. But for the most part, everything kind of likes to stay away from people. So we try our best, we'll do our best to get up as close as we can to some of them.
Now this is mating season, is it not, for the alligators?
Yep, right now it is.
Okay, so are they going to be a little more aggressive or a little bit calmer, just full of amore?
They're going to be a little skittish. Right now they only got one thing on their mind. So everything else is going to kind of be put on the back burners.
Okay. Again, as I said, this is a Florida attraction, but there is just so much meaning behind being out here in the Everglades, which is still, it brings joy to my heart that we can still have a place on this earth such as the Everglades. How do you see this ecological evolution continuing?
Well, the biggest thing I think we can try to not do is put anything else in the Everglades. No more permanent foundations in here. So hopefully the 3 million acres that we have today are going to stay all Everglades now.
Now you talk about permanent foundations. What are you speaking of?
Like no more cities being built on top of it, no apartments, no industrialization of it, just the way it is right now. Look at where I get to work.
You have a nice office,
yeah,
don't you?
look at that office view.
The Everglades is the largest subtropical ecosystem in the United States, and it's full of not only a vast array of animals, but an intriguing history too. Everglade tours, like the one at Sawgrass Recreational Park, will tell you all about this unique environment. It's a fun ride too. It is one of the world's largest birds, but you won't see them flying high in the sky. We'll introduce you to Bernard next.
For thousands of years, we've been humans' best friend. You've been through a lot, and we've been right there with you. A dog is part of the family, a confidant, and a friend who always knows how to get into your heart. So what happens to our beloved companions when we can no longer care for them? This is why we've created Dante's Den, an innovative, state-of-the-art facility that will provide care for up to 100 dogs.
Dante's Den is a community for joyful dogs.
Millions of Americans face uncertainty when planning for the future of beloved pets who may well outlive them. Dante's Den is a charitable organization, so in whatever capacity you can, please lend your support so that we may continue this most wonderful work.
Dante and I would like to thank you for watching and for also opening up your hearts to our wonderful community of joyful dogs.
Learn about the many ways you could become involved by visiting dantesden.org.
Welcome back. After the ostrich, the emu is the second largest bird in the world. Found in Australia, this big bird is a common sight to see. But finding one here in the States, well, that can prove a little bit tougher. Checking out on our local animal park, we were able to get up close to the emu. From flamingos to parrots, at Sarasota Jungle Gardens you will encounter some interesting birds. And there is one who you could say seems more curious about you.
It always amazes us that we can get a particular animal, this is Bernard the emu, who loves the camera. Liz, tell us about this interesting creature.
Bernard is actually part of the Retite family. He is cousin to the rheas, the cassowaries, and the ostrich. They are all large flightless birds. He does have wings, but as you can see, they're very, very small. What saves him in the wild is his speed and the strength of his legs. Most emos are not that docile. However, he was trained and raised from birth, and the owner did a very good job. So he's very, very sweet, very nice.
And Bernard, does he come to his name? Bernard.
Bernard.
Hi.
Bernard.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, he's a cuddler.
He is, yeah.
So what does his diet consist of?
It consists of fruits and berries, grains, insects. Same thing he would have in the wild, just probably more variety here.
And what is his life expectancy?
20 to 25 years. He's had very good care, so I would say 25 years or plus.
Bernard is 16 years old and more than 6 feet tall. That height is what makes emus one of the largest birds in the world, second to the ostrich. Emus reach their full size rather quickly, only taking a chick about 6 months from the time an egg hatches to become fully grown.
Where does Bernard hail from?
He comes from Australia.
So he's used to this warm climate that we provided with here in Florida.
Oh, absolutely. He does quite well in this heat.
Liz, one cannot help but look at those legs. Now, that is sheer, pure muscle as compared to an ostrich, or, you know, we can relate to a flamingo because a flamingo is something that we see quite often here in Florida. Tremendous muscle power in there. Would you agree?
Absolutely. The flamingos are made more for wading in the water. Their legs are a lot smaller and have a lot less muscle tone. Bernard and his species, they're made for running, and they're very, very strong. That's what keeps him alive in the wild and keeps him away from other predators.
Although the emu is a flightless bird, those long legs are powerful. They can run at speeds up to 30 miles per hour.
Liz, why is it that the emu is an animal that interests you?
I love how calm they are, but how strong they are. It's my same way as I respect horses. They're just very majestic animals, a lot smarter than you think they are. But again, just they don't have to do very much. They just kind of hold their own beautiful presence just as they are.
Now, when he stands tall like that, how tall is he?
I think he reaches up to 6'4".
Wow. He truly is a giant.
Emus are not on the endangered species list. In fact, you can find emu ranches right here in the United States. Emus are sometimes farmed for their meat, leather, and oil. The emu has good eyesight, and in fact, they have a secondary eyelid. One is used for a blinking, while the other eyelid prevents dust and sand from entering their eyes. Coming up next, Dr. Don shows an animal that you definitely want to cuddle up to.
People have asked me what it'll cost to restore all the corals back the way they remember. But I have to ask them, what will it cost if we don't do anything?
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
I don't think I've ever touched anything as soft as our next guest. Chinchillas are known for their ultra velvety-like fur, and with the right care and an owner, a domestic chinchilla can make a good pet. Dr. Don, we have an animal here that most of us have rarely seen, but we know so much about, a chinchilla.
Yep.
And adorable, of course, but tell us about this animal.
This is George.
Hi, George.
Is a chinchilla. He's like 2 to 3 years old. They can live 8 to maybe 15 years on the outside. They like to be kept in pairs. They don't like to be alone. He's probably looking for his friend. And they come from the Andes. So they're used to cold weather and they don't like it hot. So
Uh-huh.
here in Florida, they're an indoor pet with air conditioning. They heat stress out in the 80s. So you wouldn't even put a cage by a window or anything.
I see. Now, unfortunately, they used to be very fashionable.
Yes,
And we used to use it as chinchilla fur.
I think the best use of chinchilla skin is to be on a chinchilla.
Totally agree, totally agree. But you know what? There's a combination here. I see a little bit of squirrel, I see a little bit of rabbit going on here.
They're a rodent. No, they're 100% rodent, and they come from the high Andes, and they eat grasses, and they eat roots and shoots and bark off of trees. And in captivity, they're sugar glider pellets, like rabbit pellets, and they also like to eat hay off little elevated thing. They can pick little strands of hay off and chew them. And they're kind of crepuscular. So they're active in the morning and they sleep all day. They're active around sunset. So at least you can see them. It's not like having a flying squirrel or some other nocturnal vampire pet.
Now, what's very interesting to me, and it appears, Dr. Don, that those ears are almost transparent. Isn't that unusual?
Oh, it's another one of those probably thermal regulation type things for them.
Because I see veins in there.
And they're also a prey animal. So they're very alert. And when there's any sign of a hawk overhead or something, I'm sure that they know it. If you're in the wild and you're slow, you're dead.
Now, are they aggressive to humans?
No, but if you frighten one, like say if you get in its face, if you have, not a great pet for kids. If kids want something huggy, feely, touchy, squishy, get a golden retriever or a Labrador retriever dog. You don't want a kid to be playing with these. They can break them. They have very fine, thin bones. They need exercise. They need to run around. They need a cage. Once again, about this big, maybe several different layers, so they can run around, and be an absolutely cool animal. They have teeth that grow constantly, like a rabbit or a rodent. So they need stuff they can chew on and gnaw on. And as they get older, just like a rabbit, they can tend to get in their molars little sharp enamel points that can poke in their tongue. And sometimes the only clues are a chinchilla that goes off feed. And it takes anesthesia, little mouth retractors and tongue retractors, you got to look in there. So it takes a veterinarian that actually knows something about rabbits and rodents and chinchillas, and not all of them do. They're just a special group of weird people.
Because of the beautiful fur that they do have,
Yes.
Are they a protected animal at this point?
No, there's still people that raise these things to slaughter them for their fur, which is ridiculous. And there's also chinchilla rescue organizations out there because they do live so long. And once again, if you get one for a pet, they'll often outlive someone's marriage or what have you. And people, they don't want them anymore.
And they might even be in the divorce decree.
There you go. So unfortunately, sometimes animals get caught in the mix. Cute.
So he's
They're
really
quiet.
adorable. He's quiet. Vaccines, does he have to have?
Doesn't need any vaccines, but people should know their animal, know what's normal for them, how much normal active they are, because they're a prey animal and they got to hide their signs and symptoms of disease for a living. So you look, hey, the poop it has diarrhea, it has normal poop. There's a little chinchilla turd. It's a nice chinchilla turd, okay? You got to appreciate normals to appreciate abnormals.
Well, he is certainly a gorgeous creature, and the best part is he's safe. He is just safe. In order to get their velvet-like fur clean, they don't take a bath in water. Instead, they take dust baths, which help absorb oils and dirt from their fur. And it is that fur that has nearly driven these rodents to extinction. Still an endangered species, they have made a slight comeback in the wild due to restrictions on the sale and the trade of wild chinchillas. Up next, can you teach an old dog new tricks? We head to Dr. Dog to find out. Stay with us.
40 million. That's the number of free phones still available and the number of how many Americans can still get prescriptions free.
Free could be wonderful.
That's why I'm still working at 77 years old to pay off my prescriptions.
I needed to have a prescription filled and I had to leave because I couldn't afford it.
Call now and see what's available for you. Free prescriptions. Over 10 million people get prescriptions free, and the program has expanded, so another 40 million can. Free dental. Over 15,000 dentists have provided over $330 million in free dental work. Free cell phones. 40 million free cell phones are still available with free minutes and more.
Free cell phone would change my life right now because it is something I cannot afford to get.
Medical supplies like back braces, knee braces, and diabetic supplies may be covered too. The free RX Plus hotline has saved callers over $12 million on their prescription costs. These free programs are now available to 40 million more people. Call now.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Animal Outtakes is produced by Dante's Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dante's Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org. And now we head over to our trusted veterinarian for advice that you could use when adopting an older dog. Can you teach an old dog new tricks?
What you really need to do is observe initially. Don't try to do a lot of initially the first week or two. Really observe what makes your pet tick. You know, what are some of the things that maybe trigger bad behavior. You really got to get into the psychology of it. You know, if there's something going on with your pet. And then resolution, there are certain things that can be done with certain problems. And again, talking to a behaviorist, talking to your veterinarian, what can be done? My dog is doing such and such. You know, and then start working at it and be persistent and consistent. Remember, you reward good behavior, you ignore bad behavior.
Great advice from the doc as usual. We hope you've had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. Zeus and I will be back here again next week with even more animals and some wild adventures. Until then, thanks for watching.
Squeeze those guts out first. Organs. There we go. Yeah, a little more room in that part of the cavity. Yeah.
Attention blood thinner users. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If your loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Start your day with a new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m. Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.